after I saw Before I Fall, like seriously, right after, I pretty much timed it very, like, I got out of the movie Before I Fall at like 7 o'clock, and Logan's, which was the other movie I saw, it started right at 7:30. I was like, oh man, that's perfect fucking timing. Yeah, of course I went and saw Logan was the other movie I saw. I was generally looking forward to this movie a lot. I didn't get to go. I was kind of disappointed. I was busy this weekend, so I didn't get to go see it. And I was pretty much staying away from anybody spoiling the movie for me, as far as like what happens in it. Even though I had a general sense of what kind of a good idea what the hell was going to happen in this movie, but I was really, really looking forward to this movie. Honestly, some of the best trailers in the last year or so have been for Logan. That Johnny Cash Hurt trailer was amazing. I really was like I said, from that trailer on, and I was looking forward to this movie. I loved the Wolverine character, especially the Hugh Jackman version of it. And this being his last movie, I was going to go see it probably one way or another, even if it didn't get well received. Luckily, it's gotten really high praise from critics, so that helped. But this was a movie I was generally looking forward to, Logan. This might not come as a shock, but honestly, this if this does not make, I can't say this will be my best, or this will be my favorite film of 2017 at the end of the year. But if this doesn't make my top 10 list, I'll be very fucking shocked. This movie fucking ruled. This was a fantastic movie. God damn, I've said this, and I mean this wholeheartedly. This is, in my opinion, one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen, hands down. And also, my opinion, without a doubt, the best X-Men movie I've seen to date. Up to this point, I would have said probably X-Men Days of Future Past was the best one I've seen. I know some people would say Deadpool is, and I know Deadpool is kind of in the same category, but I don't know. I guess you could, Deadpool, if you were to say put Deadpool in there, I said Deadpool and X-Men Days of Future. But this is a fantastic movie. This is way better. Honestly, this is one of those movies that I know came out early in the year. It came out in March, but I would seriously hope that this movie gets some consideration when it comes to nominations, especially acting wise, at the Oscars. Although I highly doubt it. They usually never recognize movies like this, but we'll see. Hugh Jackman, god damn, man, he could. I've said this. I think like a few X-Men, like a few. One of my reviews for one of the past X-Men movies, I said pretty much at this point he could do this role in his fucking sleep. He's phenomenal. Like, there's a reason why he stayed on for 17 years and done this role for 17 years. And he's been in every single one. I've almost forgot the fact that he's been in every single one of the fucking X-Men movies, except Deadpool, if you include Deadpool. But he's been in every single one, and even just in small cameos. And that's amazing. And, like, this is, like, one of the best send-offs for a character I've seen on cinema in a long time. Like, I love him in this movie. He's like throughout the most recent X-Men movies, you see that he's like suffering like a lot of emotional pain, and is going through some heavy shit, especially for with all the shit he's been through in his life. Has caused him to just end up at this point where And at the beginning of the movie, he's pretty much all the mutants are fucking extinct, which that's a whole thing in itself. I was like, I'm kind of interested in what led to the events of this movie. Kind of, I want to see a little bit more of what led to the events of this movie, where basically the extinction of the mutants and stuff like that. Him and Charles Xavier are basically the last ones alive, and he is just fucking miserable and is a limousine driver, and is just trying to make a living. And basically, he's dying. Basically, the adamantium, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, is killing him, and like his acting in this movie is fucking phenomenal. There's this particular scene, I'm not going to give it away, but where he has to bury a certain character, and that his acting in that fucking scene was phenomenal. Like, this guy's gonna win an Oscar one day. he honestly, he should get a nomination just for this being his last time. But he's also really good in this movie. Probably his best performance as Wolverine. Absolutely. Patrick Stewart, holy shit! Like, I've even heard a lot of people pulling for him to get an Oscar nomination, and that would be his first Oscar nomination, which is fucking sad. But goddamn, like, he's a guy who's a version of Professor X that has like dementia, seizures, and is just a shell of his former self, who every time he has a seizure basically almost causes everybody around him to fucking die horrible deaths. It's really fucking weird. He is considered like a weapon of mass destruction because of this. He has to be put in hiding basically and put in a tank so he doesn't cause harm to other people. And like the emotional distress that he's going through is just insane. His acting is really good. Like, Patrick Stewart is one of the best actors out there, and I don't think that's a shock to anybody. But also, that little girl was like, it's really hard to find there's a rule, pretty much a rule everybody knows in Hollywood, that you should never work with kids or animals, and finding a great kid actor is very hard, because they vary from time to time. But this girl was really good, especially in the fact that she, for about 95% of this movie, she didn't say a fucking word. She just expressed her emotions, her feelings, everything else with her facial expression. And she did a goddamn great job. And she kicked a lot of ass. She kicked a lot of ass in this movie. Man, she is this little girl's something else. And I can see them. I've heard rumors that they're maybe going to do spin-offs with this character. I'm fine with that. This role reminded me of like Chloe Grace Moretz and Kick-Ass, and like how it's like this little girl who I don't know if she was the same age as Chloe. I think she's younger than Chloe Grace Moretz when she did the first Kick-Ass. I'm not sure, but she's playing a very mature role for her age, and it's like, man, this girl could be a really good actress if given more roles. I was impressed by her. Like, this movie relies on her acting a lot in this movie. This movie, I've heard I saw a review where it compared it to The Dark Knight. Like, this is the Dark Knight to the X-Men series, and I said, I can fucking see that. I absolutely can see that, because this movie, for first time, like, in an X-Men movie, this tries to ground the X-Men universe in reality. That's a hard thing to do, especially when you have a story about mutants and everything else. But it does a hell of a job at it. The violence in this fucking movie, if you I saw when I went to the movie, or when I went up to the ticket counter, there was a sign that said, basically to let everybody know that Logan is rated R for graphic violence, yada yada yada, and this movie earns its R rating. Oh hell yeah, it does earn its R rating. This is the Wolverine movie I've been waiting for a long fucking time, because at the end of the day, when you have a character with claws that come out of his fucking hands, he's gonna rip people to shreds. And you can tell throughout this whole franchise, they were holding back so much. They wanted to make a R-rated version of this character, and now that they finally did, this is what we fucking get, and I'm happy about it. Like, the violence in this movie is brutal as hell. It is brutal. And it's not just Wolverine. Also, there's like a bunch of mutant kids. They're basically like the children of the corn, but with fucking superpowers. And like, I love the fact that this movie shows the brutal reality of what would happen to people that would get hit by these powers, what would actually happen to some of these people. Like, they get fucking torn to shreds, blown up. That fucking thing that happened at the end of the little kids did that one, the bad guy at the end of What the Hell. That was insane. I still don't know what the hell they did, but I was like, that looked like that fucking hurt like hell. Like, the violence is, I love the fact that they show like the realistically what these powers would do to people. They would really obliterate pretty much everybody. And like I said, the violence is like too excessive, I would say. It's not like too over the top, I didn't feel. This movie reminded me like of like the closest thing we've gotten to this up to this point was that X-Men Origins Wolverine game. I don't know if anybody's ever played that. That game's fucking awesome. It's way better than a movie, but if you get like the Unleashed version of that game, it's like M for mature, and it's like basically this movie, but like one of the most graphic video games I've seen. Like Wolverine just tearing people to shreds, just ripping limb for limb, heads off, and it's amazing. And I was really happy we finally got this kind of Wolverine this time. It did, like, I've heard, like, I had a couple people say that it didn't like the ending, which I don't understand that. It ends basically the way I expected it would end. It's been telegraphed for a while how this movie was going to end. If you think you know how this movie's going to end, it pretty much ends the way you think. Trust me. I would say bring a fucking Kleenex. The theater was a little dusty in that when I went and saw it. I might have shed a tear here or there. God damn. When you have a character like that, you are so invested in. Like a lot of these characters, you watched for 17 years, invested in, and like this is not just Hugh Jackman's last hurrah with this character. It's also Patrick Stewart's. He just flat out said this is going to be the last time he's playing this role. And that's a great send-off to that version of that character. James McAvoy, I think, will do just a fine job taking over. He's done a fine job. So, as far as, like, do I ever... like, how long do I think it'll take before Hollywood will do another Wolverine, like recast Wolverine? Maybe I'll give them a couple years. Trust me, nothing will stop them from recasting this if they want to. It's not possible to do. You can find somebody to do it. Somebody's like, they'll have to find somebody that's just like Hugh Jackman. I said, no, you don't. You can have somebody that does completely different interpretation of this character and still do a good job. Like, Joker is a great example. Like, how many times have we gotten Joker and it done seen a lot of different interpretations of it? Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's not. It sucks that I think it's time for Hugh Jackman to give up the reins to that character. I mean, he's been doing it for 17 years, man. Just he can take it easy and do a lot more Oscar movie roles or whatever the hell he wants to do. That guy's gonna win an Oscar one day. I'm goddamn certain of it. I've always been a fan of him as an actor, and like I've said this, I've said to somebody, this him as Wolverine might be the best casting, the most perfect casting choice since like Iron Man, with Tony Stark being casted. Or Robert Downey Jr. being casted as Tony Stark. That's the only time I could think of a superhero movie where it was perfect casting. Man, I recommend this movie. Yeah, I highly recommend this movie. Definitely the best film I've seen so far this year, hands down. I should talk about it. I did get that Deadpool 2 teaser trailer. I love that trailer. That was funny as hell. Them making fun of Superman. If you haven't seen it, it's online. But it's still fucking hilarious. I didn't see. I waited until I was in the theater to watch that trailer. That trailer cracked me up. And I had a blast watching that trailer. I mean, actually, it opens like the trailer's ended. And this trailer started. And I'm like, oh, is this the Wolverine, the start of Logan? No, it was just basically the trailer for Deadpool 2, which my buddy's like, oh, they didn't really show anything. I'm like, yeah, they haven't even started shooting the movie. They haven't even casted Cable yet. Just give it a fucking break, all right? and they haven't even announced when this movie's coming out. I think they even just changed directors too, so. I forget who's directing. Who is directing the next one? Like I said, I can't wait for that. As far as trailers go, I had to get my phone for this because I got a lot of new ones. Alien Covenant. I finally got a trailer in front of it, in front of something. I'm not 100% sure. Is this supposed? I think this is. Yeah, this is supposed to be a sequel to Prometheus, but also somewhat prequel, more of a prequel to Alien than Prometheus was, because this one actually features the alien. And this movie looks a lot of fun. I've seen the R-rated trailer. That trailer. This movie looks like it's gonna be a fucking straight up horror movie. From that one R-rated trailer I got a couple months ago. It looks really good. I can't wait for it. I love Alien, the Alien franchise. I've always been a big fan. I like Prometheus too. I know a lot of people love to hate on that movie. I understand why, but I did like Prometheus for what it was. I'm looking forward to Alien Covenant. War for the Planet of the Apes. I've loved the recent Planet of the Apes movies. The last 2 Planet of the Apes movies have been fucking phenomenal. I'm looking forward to this too. The effects, every movie they continues to it's obvious that they're continuously working on these effects, these motion capture effects on these apes. They're getting better and better as the movies get along, because from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks really fucking impressive. I was like, man, the last time we had apes on horseback with machine guns, that was awesome. Now we have apes with guns fighting tanks. What the fuck? Like, this is like ridiculous, but I can't wait for it. Ghost in the Shell, I got a new trailer for that. I couldn't care less about this. I really couldn't. I don't have much interest. I had never seen the anime. It looks like your stereotypical anime adaptation, Aeon Flux kind of film. I have no time. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's hot, and that's about it. And the last one I got was a new trailer for The Circle. It's like basically a movie about a company that, I don't know, people used. I don't know what the hell this company does. It's like cures cancer or something like that, and like is also like a social networking kind of website, but also it monitors people and everything else. And it's obviously an allegory for what's going on in our today's society. It's got Tom Hanks, Emma Watson, that black guy from Star Wars that sounds horribly racist. Who else is in it? I forget who else is in it, but there's like a big cast in it. I was like, whatever. Yeah, that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back probably probably Friday or Thursday or Friday with Kong Skull Island. Can't wait. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.